with our speaker and guide, Kyle Conrad, discussing the adventure from getting from point A to B. Welcome, Kyle Conrad.
Hi everyone. I want to ask, last time I gave a speech I gave you a Tanzanian word, a Kiswahili word. Does anybody remember what that is?
Umbalala.
My Hindi, great job. That's right, my Hindi, which means corn. I'm going to double your vocabulary tonight and give you another word. I'm going to read it to you and then please repeat it back. Cheesy.
Cheesy.
Cheesy. Yeah, just like cheese on your pizza. Ready? Cheesy.
Cheesy.
Great job. You now know at least 2 words of Kiswahili. Awesome. And tonight I'm going to continue, as my introduction said, to try to bring to you all a little bit of Tanzanian culture. And the culture I'm going to explore tonight is transportation. How do you get from A to B? It's a big part of any culture. And to me, the best word to describe it in Kiswahili is cheesy, which means insane. It means crazy. It's not like ugali. It's not bland and simple. It's a little bit more exciting than that. And what I'm going to do is talk about one form of transportation that most Tanzanians use, that the volunteers use the most, and that's bus rides. We use buses to go medium to long distances. And so I'm going to explain how to get a bus, and then what sensations you're going to have once you get on the bus. What are you going to feel, hear, see? It's different in every culture. All right, so to begin with, and some of you I know are eyeing me up, I finally got my bags from Tanzania. They finally came home. So here's some Tanzanian dress for you. I got my sandals on, my tire sandals. I had this made from a fundi, so I look great. All right, so getting a bus. You got to go down to the main road. You got to go to the main road. You probably have one in your village. You're going to walk down to it. To get the bus, you're going to play chicken with it. I kid you not. You're going to go onto the street when you see it approaching, and you're going to act like an injured bird. You're going to go, and then maybe like start to scuttle back on. You kind of signal, play a mating dance with it, and hopefully it starts to slow down and stop for you. Most of them won't. Usually you let the bus wait and you jump out of the way and it'll go on by. Sometimes they're curious enough to give you a reason why with a hand signal. The driver will go like this. That means the bus is full. Or it'll go like this, meaning that they're actually just staying around here. They're not going very far today. So they might give you a reason, but you still get out of the way. You'll keep doing that mating ritual until one accepts you and stops. You'll get up onto the bus, and then you'll go sit in a seat. Hopefully you have a seat. Some of them were stuffed, and you get to stand in the aisle for multiple hours. Not a lot of fun, but let's say you get a seat. They were all so cramped. The first thing I always felt was cramped. I swear every vehicle in Tanzania comes from a place of much smaller people. They didn't have enough leg room. I was playing that shoulder game. Do I put my shoulder in front or behind my neighbor? And we're all just wedged in there. Always a lot of fun. So you're gonna feel a little cramped. Next thing you're gonna feel is hot. I was always hot. You're gonna look around and notice that all the windows are closed. In every bus, all the windows were closed. Why? Okay, maybe you're lucky next to the window seat and you go to open the window, you're gonna get yelled at. They're going to say, funga darisha, now, close the window. So you close, and you're like, oh, I'm sorry, what did I do? And you tell them, okay, why am I closing the window? And they'll say, especially if you have a mom with a baby next to you, she'd be like, that'll kill my child. They thought wind coming through the window would make you sick and kill you. I never figured out if it was a magic thing, like voodoo or what, but you didn't get to open the windows. Which leads to what you smell, a lot of BO. You smell a lot of BO, you smell even throw up, because you see people are throwing up and getting heat exhaustion. They're passing out. Luckily they're wedged straight up, but they're passed out because the windows are all closed. So it's kind of a weird, cheesy place. It's pretty chaotic. So what do you have to distract yourself from all these unpleasantries, not the great stuff? Well, what do you get to listen to? What do you get to see? Well, you might get to listen to music. A lot of people will pick their favorite piece of music and blare it on their cell phone, blow out the speakers, and then there might be 5 or 6 people playing their favorite songs. So it's a nice little montage of blown out speakers. It's not too exciting. But you might get lucky. Maybe the bus is playing something for you. Maybe the radio's on. Maybe they have music playing. Maybe you're lucky enough to be in a bus with a TV, which they're big coach buses. So many actually had TVs. So what are you watching on the TV? Well, you might watch a Muslim preacher preaching about how their God is the best, or a Christian preacher preaching about how their God is the best. Maybe some gospel music. There was even Tanzanian movies. They had Tanzanian movie stars. Now the production quality was that of maybe a middle school or high schooler here. Not great effects. You hear a gunshot and the guy's like, oh. So, acting quality is still getting there, but it was an interesting window into their culture. What were their movies about? Biggest two topics, adultery and magic, mysticism. So that's, I mean, everybody cares about who's sleeping with who. That's just humans, I guess. So they'll be watching movies, maybe listening to these things. What are you feeling? There's some more things that you might be feeling. You might feel a chicken pecking at you. I kid you not, because their buses are multi-species buses, transport systems. You might have, because that lady next to you might be visiting her family up the road, and the favorite gift is a chicken. So she might have a chicken on her lap, and you get to pet and play with the chicken, kind of fun. Or there's a goat in the aisle, or all these things are strapped to the roof. Many buses were adorned with animals on the roof. Pretty entertaining, pretty fun. But here's the thing, here's my message for you all. Out of all this cheesiness, I would not take it back for a second. I did not want to be one of those government workers in a Land Rover in air conditioning, just ignoring the world. It just isn't nearly as exciting. Think about all the things we learned being in that bus. We learned they're scared of the wind. We learned that there's Muslims and Christians. We learned that they need to learn to open their windows so they don't get as sick. We learned a lot of different things. And we wouldn't have had that if we had our private little vehicle. There's this weird oxymoron in the developed world. We get money and power, and we use it on a car to be by ourselves. We kind of disconnect ourselves from the community. Even though when we're more specialized, we're even more dependent upon the community. Think about it. If you're a cash teller, you don't know how to grow your own food. You don't know where to get your water, it just comes out of the spout. We're more dependent, but we're less connected. In this world, people are more independent, but they're even more connected to their community. Yeah, they're farmers, but when they go to travel, they're traveling with their whole family, they're traveling with their neighbors in a bus, having a crazy experience together. So please, if you ever go to a third world country again, you go somewhere interesting, or even here, if you're going on a long trip, take the community side, take the path that's more traveled. Get in a place with more people and have more experiences. You're gonna learn a lot more about your community that we all depend on. Asante, thank you all for your time.